Welcome back on Tales of the Dark. This time we have got 5 rideshare horror stories. Warning, don't watch this if you are alone, especially if you're driving at night. Because sometimes you're not the only one in the car. Story 1, he was already in the back seat. I started doing night shifts because they paid more. That's it. No deeper reason, no curiosity, no interest in the kind of people you meet after midnight. I just needed the money. At first it was normal. Drunk passengers, quiet rides, long stretches of silence. But over time, I started noticing something. The later it got, the fewer people there were. And the quieter the world became. It's hard to explain. It wasn't just silence. It felt like everything outside the car stopped existing. Like the headlights were the only thing keeping the road real. That night. It was around 2:17 a.m. I hadn't gotten a request in almost 40 minutes. I was about to go offline. Then a ride popped up. Pickup location, no street name, just coordinates. That was already strange, but what made it worse was where it was. A long, empty road. No houses, no buildings, nothing, just darkness. I stared at it for a few seconds. Something about it didn't feel right, but I accepted it anyway because I needed the money. The drive there felt longer than usual. The GPS kept recalculating, even though I was following it exactly. Whatever, I muttered. Eventually, I reached the location, and just like I expected, there was no one there. I parked, turned on the hazard lights, looked around, nothing, no movement, no sound, just the road and trees. Watching, I checked the app again. The ride was still active, same name. Same pickup. I waited 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3, then my phone buzzed, a message from the passenger. I'm already in, my stomach tightened. What? I looked up, checked the rearview mirror, the back seat was empty. I turned around, looked properly this time, nothing, no one. I frowned. Typed back, no you're not. The typing dots appeared instantly. Then, you didn't look properly. A cold feeling spread through my chest. I looked again, slower this time, careful, scanning every corner, still nothing. I don't see you, I replied, a pause, longer this time, then. I don't like when drivers ignore me. My grip tightened on the steering wheel. This isn't funny, I typed, no response, silence again. I was about to cancel the ride. My finger hovered over the screen, and that's when I heard it, a soft shift from the back seat. Like fabric moving, like someone adjusting their position. I froze, didn't turn, didn't breathe, just stared into the rearview mirror. And slowly, very slowly, something appeared, not clearly, not fully, just a shape, sitting directly behind me, dark, too dark, like the light wasn't touching it. My heart started pounding. No, I whispered it, more to myself than anything else. The shape didn't move, didn't breathe, just sat there, watching. I could feel it. The way you feel someone staring at you, even if you can't see their eyes. I swallowed hard. Who's there? No answer, just silence. Then my phone buzzed again, another message, start the ride. My hands were shaking now. This isn't real, I said it out loud, trying to convince myself, trying to break whatever this was, but the shape didn't disappear, it stayed right there, behind me, waiting, and then slowly. It leaned forward, closer, closer to my ear, and in a voice that didn't sound human, not fully, it whispered, drive. My entire body locked up, because that voice didn't come from behind me. It came from inside the car, from everywhere, from the seats, from the air. From the silence, I didn't think anymore, I just drove, pressed the accelerator. The car moved forward, the ride officially started. And that's when I noticed something that made everything worse. There was no destination. The GPS was blank, just a straight line, into darkness. And the passenger behind me didn't move, didn't speak again, but I could still feel it. Watching. Waiting, like this wasn't a ride, it was something else, something I had already agreed to the moment I accepted it. And as I drove further into the empty road, the app updated. A new message appeared. Not from the passenger, from the system. Trip in progress, then you cannot cancel this ride. Story 2, the passenger who never blinked. Some passengers talk, some stay quiet, and some watch. Some passengers talk, some stay silent, but every now and then you get one that makes you wish they never got in at all. Oncoming taxi. Story 2, the passenger who never blinked. I told myself the first ride was just a glitch, a bug in the app, maybe bad signal. Maybe my imagination messing with me after too many night shifts. That's what I wanted to believe, because the alternative didn't make sense, but I still had a job to do, so I kept driving. A few hours later, I got another request. Same area, still late night. Still empty roads, but this time a normal pickup location, a gas station. That already felt better. At least there were lights, at least there were people, even if they didn't stay long. When I arrived, the station was almost empty, one flickering light above the pumps. A distant hum from the fridge inside the shop, and silence everywhere else. Then I saw him, a man standing near the curb. He wasn't moving, just standing there, like he had been waiting a long time. When I pulled up, he got in without saying anything, no greeting. No eye contact, nothing. He just sat in the back seat, closed the door, and that was it. Where to? I asked. No response. I checked the app. Destination was already set, so I started driving. At first, everything felt normal, too normal. The kind of normal that makes you nervous when you're alone. I glanced at the rearview mirror. He was sitting perfectly still, head slightly tilted forward, eyes open, staring straight ahead, not at the road, not at the phone, at me. I looked away quickly, focused on driving. But I could still feel it, that stare, heavy, unblinking, constant. After a few minutes, I tried speaking again. Long night, huh? No answer. I glanced at the mirror again, still staring, same position, same expression, not even a twitch. Okay, I muttered. I turned on the radio. Just to fill the silence, static at first, then faint music, but it didn't help, because the silence inside the car stayed the same. Thick, uncomfortable, alive in a way it shouldn't be. 10 minutes passed, then 15. That's when I noticed something. The road ahead was familiar, too familiar. Same broken streetlight, same faded billboard, same curve in the road. I frowned. I've been here before. I checked the GPS. Still moving, still correct route, but outside it didn't feel correct. It felt like repetition, like the same stretch of road playing again and again. I slowed down slightly. That's when the passenger finally spoke. You missed the turn. I flinched. What? He didn't move, didn't change expression, just repeated it. You missed the turn. I shook my head. No, I didn't. I'm following the route. A pause, then he leaned forward slightly. Just enough to feel it. You're going the wrong way. My grip tightened on the wheel. Look, I said, trying to stay calm. I've done this route before. He tilted his head, slowly, too slowly, like something adjusting itself incorrectly. Then he said something that made my stomach drop. We've passed this already. I looked around, the same streetlight again, same billboard, same curve. My throat went dry. That's not possible. I checked the GPS again, still showing forward progress, still normal, but outside it was looping. Like the road was repeating itself, or I pressed the accelerator slightly, trying to brake it, trying to force change. That's when the passenger laughed, soft, quiet, almost amused. You're still driving like it matters. I looked at him through the mirror. For what? I asked. He didn't answer immediately, then slowly said, You already passed the destination. I froze. What do you mean I passed it? He leaned back again, perfectly calm. You just didn't stop. Silence. I checked the GPS again, still active route, still moving, still nothing marked as completed. This doesn't make sense, I whispered. Then the GPS screen flickered, just for a second, and I saw it. A red marker behind me, way behind me, like the destination was already crossed, already left behind. My breathing got heavier. I didn't pass anything, but even as I said it, I wasn't sure anymore. The passenger spoke again. You always say that. I looked at him sharply. What? He smiled slightly, not friendly, not warm, just familiar. You always forget. My hands started shaking. What are you talking about? He leaned forward again, closer this time, and in a lower voice said, You picked me up before. I went cold. That's not possible. He nodded slowly. Yes, it is. A pause then, and you said the same thing last time. My stomach dropped completely. What last time? He didn't answer. Just stared at me, same unblinking eyes, same expression, same silence, and then he said the worst thing yet. You always forget the rides that don't end. The car felt smaller suddenly, like the air inside was shrinking. I checked the road again, still looping, still repeating, still wrong. And then the passenger finally blinked, slow, too slow. And when his eyes opened again, they looked exactly like mine. Story 3, the ride that never ended. Some trips end, some don't, but the worst ones don't even let you know when they started. Some rides feel short. Some feel long, but then there are the ones where time stops making sense, and you start questioning whether you're even moving at all. Oncoming Taxi Story 3, the ride that never ended. After that last ride, I almost went offline. I should have. Every instinct in my body was screaming at me to stop driving, to go home, to lock the doors, to forget the app existed. But I didn't, because I needed to prove something to myself, that this was all just coincidence, bad timing, stress, night shift paranoia. So I kept driving. A few minutes later, I got another request. Different name, different pickup, different part of the city, or at least that's what it showed. The pickup location was a straight road outside the city limits, no buildings nearby. Just a long stretch of highway and darkness on both sides. I remember thinking, at least this one feels normal, but it didn't, not even close. When I arrived, there was no one waiting. No car headlights, no phone light, nothing, just empty road. And silence that felt too wide, too open. I parked anyway, put the car in neutral, and waited 1 minute, 2 minutes, then my phone buzzed. I'm here. I looked around, still nothing. I rolled down the window slightly. The air outside felt colder than it should have been. Too still, no wind, no insects, just emptiness. Then I heard the door open. Behind me, I froze, slowly looked into the rearview mirror. The back seat was occupied, but I hadn't seen anyone get in. No movement, no reflection of arrival, just suddenly there. A figure sitting perfectly still. Head down, hands on lap, I swallowed hard. When did you get in? No response. I turned slightly, not fully, just enough to see. And the moment I did, the figure lifted its head, slowly, too slowly. Like something learning how to move, its face wasn't clear. Not because of darkness, but because it didn't feel stable, like my eyes couldn't lock onto it properly. I turned back forward immediately. My heart was racing now. Where to? I asked. Silence. Then the GPS autofilled a destination, but it wasn't a place, it was just coordinates, again. The same kind as before, empty location. No address, no name, just numbers. I started driving, and that's when I noticed it. The road ahead wasn't changing. No matter how far I drove, it looked exactly the same. Same streetlight, same broken fence, same bend in the road, repeating. I slowed down, checked the mirror. The passenger was still there, still motionless, still silent. But now he was sitting closer than before. I swear he was further back when I started. My chest tightened. No, that's not possible. I looked forward again, focused on the road. Pressed the accelerator slightly, but nothing changed. The scenery kept repeating, like the world was stuck on a loop. Then the radio turned on by itself. Static, then faint sound, not music, not news, my own voice, talking. I froze. It was my voice, saying words I didn't remember speaking. I already drove this route. Static crackled again, then another line. You just didn't notice the repeat. My hands tightened on the wheel. No, that's not me, I whispered. The passenger finally moved, just slightly, leaning forward, and said something quietly. You're catching up, I frowned. What does that mean? No answer, just silence again, but now I noticed something worse. The outside world was slowing down, not physically but visually, like frames missing from reality, like the road was skipping. The same tree appearing twice, the same streetlight flickering in the same pattern. Over and over again, I checked the GPS again. Distance unchanged, time increasing, but destination wasn't getting closer. Then the passenger spoke again. You already reached it. I shook my head. No, I didn't. He tilted his head. Yes, you did. A pause, then. You just didn't stop. My breathing got heavier. This is impossible. The passenger slowly leaned back and said something that made my stomach drop. Every time you restart the route, you forget the ending. I looked at him sharply. What ending? He didn't answer. Instead, the GPS screen flickered, and suddenly the map changed. The route wasn't ahead anymore, it was behind me, way behind me, like I had already crossed everything and was now driving through something that had already happened. I slammed the brakes. The car stopped, silence. Then the passenger said quietly, You're finally noticing. I turned around fully this time and the back seat was empty, no one, nothing. I blinked, confused, breathing fast. Then I looked forward again, and my stomach dropped completely, because the road ahead was gone, not dark, not empty, gone. Just a blank stretch of nothingness where the road should have been, and the car was still moving, even though I wasn't pressing the pedal. And from the radio, my own voice whispered again, "You can't cancel this ride." Story 4: The trunk that was never empty. Some sounds come from inside the car, but the worst ones come from places you were never supposed to check. Some sounds are easy to ignore: a knock outside, a creak in the road, a voice on the radio, but there's one sound you never get used to. Because it doesn't feel like it belongs outside, it feels like it's already inside your car. Oncoming taxi. Story 4: The voice from the trunk after the last ride ended. If you can even call it that, I didn't know what was real anymore. The GPS stopped making sense. The road itself felt wrong. And worst of all, I couldn't remember the exact moment I started the next trip. It just happened. 1 second I was stopped. The next I was driving again. No notification, no request, no passenger request screen, just the car moving. And me behind the wheel. At first I thought maybe I was hallucinating, stress, fatigue, something like that, but then I heard it. A sound from the back of the car, not the seat, not the passenger area, further back, the trunk, a soft knock. I immediately slowed down. My hands tightened on the wheel. "No way," I whispered, then knock again 3 times, slow, deliberate. I pulled over instantly. Hazard lights on, heart already racing. I sat there for a second, just listening, silence. Then another knock, this time louder from inside the trunk. I turned slightly in my seat. "Hello," I called out. Stupid, I know, but I had to. No answer, just another knock, and then a faint scratching sound, like something moving inside, trying to find space. My throat went dry. I grabbed my phone, opened the ride app. It showed no active trip. That made my stomach drop. No active trip, but I'm driving, I muttered. Then I noticed something else. The rear passenger seat indicator, it was flickering on and off, like something was there but not fully registered. I slowly turned my head. The back seat was empty, but I didn't feel relieved, not even close, because the sound was still coming from the trunk. Another knock, then a voice, soft, muffled, but clear enough to understand. "Don't open it." I froze. There was someone inside, or something that knew I was listening. I turned the radio off. Silence hit instantly. And now the trunk sound was louder. Knock, 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 then scratching again, faster this time, more desperate, like it knew I was thinking about opening it. My breathing got heavier. What the hell is in there? I stepped out of the car slowly. Every movement felt wrong, like I was being watched even outside. I walked to the back, the trunk, my hand hovered over it, then stopped because I realized something. The car was cold, but the trunk was, it was warm. Like something inside was alive. I swallowed hard. Okay, then another voice right behind me from inside the car, not the trunk, the back seat. "You shouldn't open it." I spun around instantly. The back seat was occupied, a shape, sitting perfectly still, same as before, but I swear it wasn't there a second ago. I stepped back, heart pounding. "What do you want from me?" I shouted. No response, just staring. Then the trunk knocked again, louder, angrier, like both things were aware of each other. I felt trapped between them, back seat, trunk, both silent now. Both waiting. My phone buzzed. I looked down. A message appeared from the app. "Passenger is waiting." I looked up slowly. The backseat figure was gone, but the trunk was still there, knocking, soft again, controlled again, like it had won. I stepped away from the car, breathing heavily. I'm done with this," I said, but the app was, it updated again. "Complete the ride." I laughed nervously. "There is no ride." Then my car lights turned on by themselves. Engine started, doors locked, and the trunk stopped knocking. Complete silence, too complete. I walked toward the driver's door, pulled the handle, locked, pulled again, harder, still locked. Then I saw it, inside the rearview mirror. The backseat figure was back, and it was closer than before, leaning forward. Its mouth was near the driver's seat now, and it whispered, "Drive." The car moved without me, and I was back inside, sitting behind the wheel, hands on the steering like I never left. and the trunk was silent again. But I knew something was worse now, because whatever was inside it wasn't the problem anymore. It was already inside the car. And I hadn't noticed when it moved. Story 5, the passenger who knew my name. Some passengers don't need directions. They already know where you're going. Some passengers don't ask where you're going because they already know. And sometimes they're the reason you started moving in the first place. Story 5, the passenger who knew my name. After the trunk incident, I stopped thinking clearly. Not because I was tired, but because everything around me stopped feeling real. The road, the car, the app, even my own reflection, it all felt slightly delayed. Like I was watching my life a few seconds after it already happened. I told myself I was going home, I really did, but the GPS had other plans. No matter where I turned, it recalculated, same direction, same road, same destination. And then the ride appeared, no notification sound. No request pop-up, it just appeared, already accepted, already active. Pick up location, my current position. I frowned. That's not possible, but before I could react, the passenger got in. I didn't see him enter. I didn't hear the door. He was just there, sitting in the back seat, perfectly still. And then he said my name, not like a question, not like a greeting, like a confirmation. You're late. My entire body went cold. I looked in the mirror. He was staring at me, but this time I recognized something, not his face, not his voice, but the feeling. Like deja vu that hurt, like a memory I never lived. I don't know you, I said. He tilted his head slowly. You always say that. Silence. The car started moving on its own again. I didn't press the accelerator. I didn't touch anything. But the road was passing anyway. You picked me up before, he said calmly. I shook my head. No, I would remember that. He laughed softly. You never do. My grip tightened on the wheel. What do you want from me? That's when he leaned forward, closer than before, and said something that made my stomach drop completely. I don't want anything. A pause, then I just need you to finish the ride. My throat went dry. What ride? He smiled, and this time it didn't feel human at all. The one you never end. Suddenly the GPS changed, not coordinates, not roads, a timeline, a loop, and I saw it. Every ride I had done that night, every passenger, every stop, every road, stacked, repeating, overlapping, all of it connected, like I wasn't doing separate trips. I was stuck inside one continuous ride that kept restarting. I turned around fully. The back seat was filled now, not with one passenger, but with all of them. The silent man, the blinking man, the trunk voice, the one who knew my name, all sitting there, watching me. And they spoke together, not in voices, but in one sound, one sentence. You never finished it. My breathing broke. What is this? I shouted. The car slowed down, stopped. Outside there was nothing, no road, no city, no night, just darkness stretching in every direction. The passenger leaned forward one last time and whispered, "You accepted a ride that never had a destination." I froze, then the app on my phone lit up. Final message, trip cannot be completed. Passenger still inside. I looked up slowly, the mirror showed only me. But I could still feel them, all of them, inside the car, inside the space behind me, inside something I couldn't escape anymore. The engine started again, even though I wasn't driving. And the passenger's voice came one last time everywhere at once. Drive, and I did. Because I realized something too late. I was never the driver. I was just the route. If you are new here, subscribe to Tales of the Dark, where every story gives you a nightmare.